We're live. Well, the count is gone. Hello, we are live. It's 2:59. I'm a minute early. I thought I'll come a little earlier and come on board and say hi and wait for everyone to come and join the party. How do I know when people have joined up? There should be an indicator. This is the first time I'm going live on Facebook. Is anyone there? Or is it just me up over here? We have one eyeball. Welcome. Hi, Vaibhav. How are you? Is it going to be just you and I today? Vaibhav is here. Vaibhav, say hi. Vaibhav is the guy who's helped me put this up. He, along with Nidhi, are responsible for running this page. And hi, Nandini. How are you doing? And hi Shweta, welcome. Anuj, greetings. Kaise ho bhai? Danish Singh, what's happening Danish? Vaibhav is watching, fantastic. So like I was saying, Nidhi is also on. There you go. Nidhi and Vaibhav, these are the two people who are responsible for getting me over here. So in case you all have a terrible time, you all know who to troll. That's Nidhi Agarwal and Vaibhav Nayak. I'm just kidding, man. Don't troll them. They're good people. They're bringing education to you live in a format where it wouldn't have been possible. These are good times we live in. Not these present lockdown times, but this digital age where you and I can connect. Hi, Shireen. Hello. Nandini, you're glad to see me. I'm glad to see you. Can you guys hear what I'm saying? Is the audio clear? We'll just wait for a bit for people to join in and then we can start off. I know, man, being punctual doesn't really help in our country. And that's again one of the talks I want to talk about being an Indian actor and all the other things which nobody ever talks about, which you have to deal with. Anu has joined in. Hi, Anu. Welcome. Welcome. Good to have you here. Punctuality. Well, it is what it is. What do you do? But you got to be very aware of being punctual as an actor as well, because you come in, for example, if you're doing a TV show, you have a 9 to 9 shift or an 8 to 8 shift, and you have to be there on time, because a lot of times in the contract it's mentioned that if you are half an hour late, you get a grace period about 30 minutes. If you're half an hour late, they will, cut the money from your per day basis. You get per day, like a daily wage earner, you get money per day. तो अगर आप लेट आओ तो आपसे काटा जाता है, but it's also fair क्योंकि if they take overtime from you, then you also add that same money. So that's a little nuance that you might or might not have known about the punctuality in the Indian film industry. Hey Anu, welcome. Shirin Khan, hello, good to see you as well. It's 3 minutes past 3. How long should we wait for everyone? I mean, whoever is going to join in. You can always watch this again later. So I want to respect everyone who's being punctual and who's come on time I'm going to respect your time. So I'll tell you what, let me just start off because I don't want to disrespect you and your time. You guys have been punctual and you should be rewarded for that. Those who are going to come in late, well, they can just watch it again. That's the other advantage of being digital and live. Okay, welcome to a session held by me. My name is Siddhant Karnik and I am an actor in the Indian film industry, in the Indian theatre industry. Is it much of an industry, the theatre industry? Yeah, you could say it's an industry. Not very highly paid industry, but a very highly gratifying industry there is. In the Indian film industry, as an actor, you get to act in different mediums. Film, obviously, you guys know of. Television as well. There's also web series, which have come in hugely now. TV commercials, those ad films that you keep seeing in between films and television shows. Yeah, that's a huge, huge market as well, especially for actors for such as myself. We have theatre, which is again massive. And did I cover all the genres? No, there is also voiceovers. That's something which I've done, and that's something I'm going to get into also. The entire voiceover industry. It's not just about voiceover artists, but a lot of actors such as myself also do voiceovers in it. There is what else? There is, if you want to call modeling also in the acting industry, because here it's kind of all the boundaries are kind of meshed in. So in that meshing in, there's theater, there's voiceover, there is catalog shoots, there is a whole bunch of things, whole different kind of mediums. And now, obviously, with Instagram and YouTube that have come in, there are influencers, there's the influencing market. It's just, there's so many mediums. It's a fantastic time to be an actor in the Indian film industry. All right, I thought I'll start off with my journey because instead of giving you all gyan of how it is, what it is, I thought I'll just start off with what my journey is, because I can testify to that, and that will give you a good idea of how to get into this industry and what are the going-ons, and yeah, just whatever you guys can gain. And then in the next half, I will take all your questions and I will answer all your questions as well. So in case you agree with something I'm saying, give me a thumbs up, send me some hearts, so I know that y'all are listening, because that is important, especially in actor. It's acting and reacting. Those are the fundamentals of acting. So if I'm acting, you got to react. Only then I know. Thank you for that heart, whoever did send it. It is much greatly appreciated. All right, so when I was 18, I was in college, and my father being in the army, we were not very well off. So I used to get a pocket money of 1,500 rupees a month, which was huge for an army officer to give his two sons. But it wasn't huge when it comes to a teenager living in Bombay. So obviously, I understood that Dad didn't have much money, and I also understood that I needed to earn more money if I wanted to spend money. So one of the fun things which kind of came around quite incidentally was I met this guy who was making a lot of money. He was my age. In fact, he had the same name as me. His name was also Siddhant, and he was making this whole lot of money. And I asked him how's he doing it, and he says, well, I model. उस टाइम तो बड़ा चढ़ा के बोलता था कि मैं मॉडल हूँ. I said, अरे वाह, ये मॉडलिंग अच्छी चीज़ है यार, पैसे भी मिल जाते हैं. He said, yeah. And I said, please tell me about it. Do you think I can participate? And this is the time actually when I had just kind of come from Calcutta. My dad was posted over there, and my mother had forced me into this May Prince, this beauty contest of sorts, and I had participated in it just to make friends. I landed up winning it. Then I landed up winning another one after that a few weeks later in Calcutta again. और वो कीड़ा जब लगता है ना कि हाँ यार कुछ तो होगा, ठीक है यार, चेहरा इज ओके, देखते हैं क्या हो सकता है चेहरे से. So that's why modeling kind of was in the back of my mind as a way to earn money. I modeled, I went to an audition, and I got, in my second or my third audition, I got a Coca-Cola ad. Not many people know this, but my first debut on television was an ad for Coca-Cola, and I was not the main guy. I was not even the main guy's best friend. I was the main guy's second friend who was sitting on the couch eating chips. That was all I had to do. That was my job. I had to come, I had to sit, I had to laugh, and that was it. And I got paid 5,000 rupees for that ad, which at that time was a lot of money. My first paycheck, I said, wow, this is easy. This is very easy. Let's carry on doing this as a way of making pocket money. So I kept going for ad auditions, did a few here and there, but that also kind of opened up another avenue in my head. I said, okay, if modeling is happening, then let's try other aspects. And that's when I joined up with an event management agency. You guys must have seen in malls, there are these weird, loud talking men and boys and girls with the mics in their hand and introducing the products and playing games with the audience. Well, that was me. I did that, and I did that a lot, and I did that so much that I started making more money than I was getting in my pocket money and in my ads that I was doing. So I did a lot more of these, and it just kind of turned out to be a way to make money as opposed to a career. It's never for the career. Just this is a great job. I get to hang out. I get to play games with people. They're giving me a mic. I get to blabber like the way I'm doing right now, and I'm getting paid also for it. Yay! I had a lot of fun doing that. A lot of fun. In fact, one of the first biggest gigs at that time, I don't know if you all were around, it was called Zee Cine Stars Ki Khoj. And it was this huge talent show which is being done by Zee TV. And I didn't participate in that because I never wanted to be an actor. But I was the MC in a road show in the trucks which used to go around Ahmedabad and the smaller cities where you used to kind of, you know, literally small villages to cities we used to go to and have this event, call people up. And, you know, I used to be a director. I would be sitting on the director's chair with my hat and everything, and I'd make people act. And if I thought that they had it, I would give them a wild card entry. And that was my first few gigs. So, wow, this is very distracting. Himanshi Chatwani, when you say such wonderful things, I am but distracted. So please carry on, and I will show you how one has to keep focus as an actor as well. So the emceeing started off, modeling was there. We've yet not got into the acting. It was modeling, then it was emceeing, and then again back to modeling and a few ads. And by this time I was kind of done with my college. Very proud to say that I'd stopped taking money from my dad as pocket money, and I saw myself through college, not only in terms of paying for my recreational and outdoor activities with my friends, but I started paying for my college tuitions and buying my books and all that, because, you know, at that time we kept getting very influenced by TV. Sitcoms in the US, you know, how they all very proudly say that when they are 18, they're out of the house and looking after themselves. Well, I wasn't out of the house, thankfully, but I was looking after myself. And that carried on to Love is 21. I did I did Ramp, I did some ads, never the main lead, did some ads, and I did these emceeing shows, and that gave me a whole bunch of pocket money to play around with. So 21, after college, I didn't want to study anymore. I knew by that time I didn't want to join the army. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I did know that I didn't want to study anymore. And my dad said, well, okay, you can take the year off as long as you don't bum around, as long as you do something in life. And acting is what kind of happened. It was again a means to an end, and it's been a wonderful journey since. I feel I'm talking about myself too much. I want some questions to come in. Are you okay with this format? Do you want me to carry on talking, or should I field some questions now about the industry, and then we can talk about that and we can have it a more organic narrative? Yes? No? Maybe? I'll take the silence as yes, you can carry on. Okay, let me carry on. Carried on. I got my first break. I wouldn't call it a break, but in that 1 year that I had off where I didn't want to study or I didn't want to do anything else, and Dad saying, Ki, you got to be please continue. We are loving what you're saying. Thank you, Himanshi. Anu, thank you so much. Okay, great. I'm going to carry on. Sorry, this GoPro is making a lot of noise unnecessarily. Kashish says, love to see you, one of the finest actors ever seen. Are baap re. Thank you. Thank you. ये सरासर झूठ है, पर सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगा है. शुक्रिया जी. Kashish, do you know Kashish, that my brother's name is also Kashish? So there is a immediate fondness over there, Kashish. Alright, alright, so going back, I was just taking the year off, doing some modeling, and I wanted to be a VJ at that time because I thought VJing used to be the coolest job. And my cousin Pia was a VJ for Channel V at that time, and a lot of people, a lot of her friends, that's Yudi and Vinay Pathak at this time, were also VJs for Channel V. And you know, VJs used to be the most glamorous, best, fantastic job that they could ever be. So I said, yaar, VJ banna cool hoga. You get to wear these cool clothes, you get to go and just look cool and just... I'm emceeing in any case, so I'm sure I can become a VJ. And I auditioned, and they said, well, they liked my content, but they said I looked uncomfortable in front of the camera. So, and I understood what they meant, because I was very conscious. Every time this camera would come on, I'd just go like, hi, my name's Siddhant. How do you do? Okay, bye. So I used to get very conscious. And then I figured out, all right, let me get over this consciousness, because facing a camera, facing a lens can be very intimidating. It still is, mind you. Sometimes I still do feel nervous, and it's not just the lens, but it's the number of people that are behind the lens also, you know, which kind of adds to the pressure of acting, because you're trying to create this reality. You know, for example, if you're all alone, and that's what the camera is showing, that you're all alone, but what you're actually seeing are lights around you, people looking and judging and seeing every little thing that you're going to do, other actors waiting for their cue to come in. There's a lot going on, and I got to show nothing, right? And that's one of the things of being an actor. So you have to get over this entire consciousness of being conscious in front of the camera. And I auditioned meanwhile for a TV show, a Hindi serial, which I never thought I would ever do, because I used to make fun of all Hindi serials and all Hindi serial actors. And I'm being very honest over here. Until I finally auditioned for one, and I got it. They said they liked me, and I'd actually gone with my best friend Neil Bhupalam. He's one of the finest actors that I know, not just because he's my best friend, but also because he's just awesome. He's in Riker Case. It's on Woot right now. Please go watch it. I haven't yet. So please watch it and tell me how he is. I need to call him back on that. He got a call, and I said, Chal chalte, we'll go have fun. I was not even called for this audition. I was there. They said, oh, you look like somebody who can be in this TV show. And I said, no, it's okay. I don't want, I'm too good to do Hindi TV shows. You know, I'll just go straight for Hindi films, and I'll become a Hindi star, Bollywood star. I don't need to do all this TV bullshit. But she still insisted, and I went for the fun of it, and I got it. And that was my first realization of humility, because when I got into the TV industry, it was one of the most challenging things that I have still and I keep facing. The Hindi film industry, the Hindi TV industry is something which has not got its due recognition for the amount of hard work that the talent and the crew put into it on a daily basis. So that TV show was a show called Remix. It was a huge, yes, Himanshi, that was Remix. That was my first TV show, and that's this audition that I spoke to you about. And I said, you know what, if I have to be a VJ, it'll be good to start with the TV show, get familiar to the camera, then bounce out from it and go and audition again. Little did I know that life would have other plans for me. In Remix was it was awesome. I was so lucky to be part of a huge cult show, where just talking about Remix now, I'm getting so many hearts coming in. So it's been a very successful show, and coming into it suddenly, and the show was already on when my character was introduced. I was the bad guy, Arjun Khanna. I don't know if you all remember. Played the prefect. And I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never acted, and I was nervous as... I can't use profane language over here, but you can understand how nervous I was. But the nicest people I met on set, and at the same time, because life is not so good, the toughest director I've ever worked with in my life till date was also on that show. So I had all these wonderful people, cast and crew around me, and at the same time I had this director who used to scare the living daylights out of me, and I used to be so scared every time that guy used to come on to direct, and I would fumble, and I would make the biggest goof ups, and it was just a terrible, terrible time, which you guys don't know about, and I will not mention that director's name, but we had our differences. Anyways, this points me to something else actually. This industry, like any industry, you will always come across people at power who, for their own insecurities or for their own baggage that they're carrying, will try to put you down. Now, you don't have any control on that. But what you do have a control on is not being affected by it. And I know it's easy to say that now after giving 16 years into this industry. But at that time, as a new person, when you're coming into the industry, it's very difficult to not be affected and not take it personally and not start, being insecure of your own self. Oh, you know what? Ye acting mujhse nahi ho payegi, and I'm a terrible actor and I can't do this. No. The thing is, in not just in acting, but in any industry that you come in, at first, you are going to be bad. Chances are you're going to be terrible. You have to be terrible. Everybody who comes into any industry, they don't start off with being the best in that industry. No, they start off with making all the mistakes. And that's the thing. You have to make those mistakes because your seniors who've been there have also made all those mistakes. It's just a natural, organic way of moving up in the industry, especially in the... So the only industry I can probably compare the acting industry to is the army. Okay, and I say this because I'm very familiar with the army background and I'm now very familiar with the television industry. I have no idea how the corporate section works, so I don't want to presume how things are over there. Let me talk about what I do know. The army, you come up with such a good, conducive, constructive environment where everyone's always got your back. Whereas in the Indian film industry and acting, you got to get your own back because you're out there on your own. Friends are there, sure, but you're out there on your own. So, my point is, in every industry, like how I faced this director who is terrible, I realized that my performance was terrible not just because of me, but also because of these outside external things which kept coming onto me. And it's important to know and understand and tell yourself that, listen, you're a lot more. And then even if you suck now, it's all right because everybody sucked at that time. And with hard work and perseverance, you can get a lot better. I'd like to welcome everybody else on who's just joined in. There is Dennis. Hi, Dennis. Welcome. I got a photograph of of the wonderful frame that you've made of a note that I sent you, and it's really nice. So I appreciate that, Dennis. Kashish, you were like a stud and so good. You look so confident. Kashish, that was all. I look like a stud, thank you. It was the makeup. The confidence was just, believe me, I was sweating. Every time the shot used to get over, the makeup dada used to come run and dab all the sweat from everywhere because I'd be sweating so much. And I was so nervous every time I came on to this thing. But I guess what you see is not what actually is. Remix happened, remix went, and then I said, you know what, let's take this thing a little more seriously. By that time I decided I didn't want to do any more television. So I tried to do films. I joined up an acting school during that time. I did 2 films. And in one of the films, this was, I must say, this was the point where I said, all right, this is not my plan B. Acting is not plan B. It's going to be plan A. And it was at this point when I was doing a movie called Ye Mera India. And they were using a new camera, Panavision at that time. And the DOP, the director of photography, as we call the cinematographer, he'd come from Los Angeles. And we were shooting, and N. Chandra sir, fantastic director, but also very, because old school, so you get very intimidated by these big guys. I was damn nervous again. The nerves, cutting myself again, the nerves that you feel as in the acting industry, they don't go fast. They're there. They're always there. It's just that you learn to channelize it a lot better. Instead of making it work against you, you make those same nerves, the same butterflies in your stomach work for you. And yeah, so that nervous and being nervous never goes. You just learn to deal with it a lot better. I need a haircut, man. I desperately need a haircut. But I'm not going to self-haircut myself. No, I'm not courageous enough to do that. Okay, I've been talking for the last 24 minutes, talking about my journey, and I've just barely scratched the surface, but I keep digressing. Coming back to the point where the plan B shifted to plan A was after I did this one scene, which was this sort of a monologue where I come home and I blast off at my mother. I did that. I got it down in one take. It was a one take. Okay. I didn't even expect it to be like that. And later on, I was just sitting and I was wondering, why did he not take more takes? Why didn't we work on it? And I was thinking, I did so bad that he said in the first one only कि इसका और कुछ हो नहीं सकता. This is the best that he can give. Let's not even waste time on working on him. All these things you keep. The monologue happens when you're starting off. These negative thoughts are a lot more than positive reaffirmations. And I'm saying this because I want each of you to understand that that's what happens with actors and with anybody when they're starting off in an industry. So the DOP, this guy from Los Angeles, he comes to me, and when I was sitting there on my own, he comes to me and he says, that was some real dinero stuff. And I was like, sorry, what? And he says, Robert De Niro? I said, yes. He said, well, that was some real dinero stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're kidding. And he says, no, I'm not kidding. And he walks off. And I was like, I was stunned. I was shocked. It took me a long time to process the entire thing, to know that he was not kidding and that it actually was good. And that's when sitting over there, and I remember I was not even in the vanity van. I was sitting down somewhere on a water tanky or something in between shots. And that's when I said, you know what? Maybe I should make this my career. And that was it. And there's been no looking back since. I've doubted myself plenty of times since, but I've not gone back in my actions at least. Okay, coming to the questions. Ask me questions now, and I will keep answering them as they come along. Dennis is asking, are you planning a new series of film with Drashti? Dennis, I would love to plan, but unfortunately it's not in my hands. A producer who's making a film or a project or a web series has to kind of make it happen first. We come only in the latter stage. So if you're asking me if I would want to, yes, I'd love to work with Drashti again. We work very well together. And plus she's just a fantastic human being and a great friend. But is there anything properly coming? I don't know. Can't say. Himanshi is saying, you were amazing in Thappad. How was the experience? Thank you, Himanshi. I really appreciate it. I have to be honest with you. The first 2 days, it took me some time to get used to the set. I don't know if I should tell you guys this. Inner secret. Yeah, let me tell you all, man. We're just a few people over here. So when Thappad was happening, I got cast as the main lead's brother, and that was cool. That was great because I wanted to work with Anubhav sir a lot. And when I was getting my costume trial done in office, I got to know that the main lead, suddenly his dates weren't there and he was no longer in the lead. So I was like, wow, this is my opportunity. And so I went up to Sir, and I'd only met him once before, and I knocked on his office door and I said, Anubhav sir? He said, yes. I said, sir, I believe that so-and-so, I will not take his name, is no longer part of the project and you're looking to cast the main lead. He said, yes. And I said, sir, I would really like for you to consider me as being the main lead on this because I feel I can do justice and bring a lot of value to the role. And Anubhav sir takes a beat and he says, okay, let me think about it. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. And I did not hear from him or the office or anything. But I did. Here's what I appreciate myself in doing is that I went and I took the opportunity. I did not say anything. I went, I put myself out there. I didn't get it, but I was still fine because I said, you know what, at least I put myself out there and I said, I want you to consider me. Pavel got selected as the lead over there. I didn't know that. I got to meet him only on the day of the shoot. And I have to be honest, I was a little cheesed off. I was a little, यार ये मुझे क्यों नहीं मिला, मैं ये अच्छा कर सकता था. And so it took me 2 days to get over that ego of mine. And I'm saying ego because I had a chip on my shoulder. I said, and I truly believed I could do better than him. I could, do everything better than him. But after those 2 days and after the acceptance came in that, no, you know what, Anubhav sir is massive in what he does. I'm sure he's had his reasons too, beyond what my understanding is. And I kind of relaxed and made peace with the role that I had, which I was very happy with when I got it, but I got very sad when I wanted something more. The greed aspect of things. So I came back to, no, I got to be fortunate and thankful for what I have and do the best in that. And although it wasn't much, but just being around and for the first time on set, because I wasn't a lead or a paralead or somebody driving a force, I could really take a step back and watch these professionals at work. It was a fantastic position that I was in to be part of this wonderful project that was happening with these beautiful, professional, talented people, and not having been immersed in my own work so that I don't observe what they were doing. So this was great for me to literally stand back and just see and observe what everybody is doing. And because of that attitude change, because of that perception shift, I enjoyed myself so much more. So if anyone is becoming an actor right now in this chat box, or if you know somebody who is wanting to be an actor and is unhappy with the kind of work that they're getting, please narrate this incident to them, because I would also do the same, because there's so much more to learn when you're not the main person. You have and still have the opportunity to be around that area, that phenomenon, that shooting set, that you learn a lot. And believe me, that always pays off later on. So that was my experience of Thappad in a nutshell. Thank you. I love all the hearts and the thumbs ups coming. I'm glad you guys agree with me. Himanshi, I'm very happy you're inspired by what I said. Any more questions? Anu, that monologue is superb. Thank you so much. I think you're talking about the one in Ye Mera India, right? Yes. Danish Singh is top fan of Himanshi Chatwani. Danish. Hey, Himanshi, I can't see your face over here, but were you the MC at Tech Talk? Is this the same Himanshi? Danish, you can tell me she's the same Himanshi. Next big actor. Okay, cool. Okay, Dennis, thanks for the quick, I missed that. Thanks for the quick reply. Your series films are great. A big compliment. Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate that you appreciate my work. It's great to have well-wishers from across the country who don't really understand the language that I spoke it in, but appreciate my work nonetheless. Thank you so much. In a daily soap, stories keep changing according to TRP. How do you cope with that? You sign up for something and end up doing something else. What a great question, Anu. It's exactly how you said. So when I do a TV show, earlier what I used to do a lot of character work, a lot of study into the character and really form this character how I've seen it. But then what I realized, what happens with TV, as you said, the scripts keep changing, and along with the scripts and the narrative, the character keeps changing as well. Then I would unnecessarily hold on to the character who was initially thought of, and really holding on to that, but new lines coming in and new context coming in, it was just a whole hodgepodge of things, and I gave up on it, honestly. So now when it comes to television, I don't work so hard in building a character, but I just take it as it goes, and I take it as so that's the madness, right? How do you make sense of the madness is in life as well, every day is different. A month before, if you figured that, did you ever think that we'll be in lockdown like this? Something so unimaginable. Right now, in daily soaps, we get these unimaginable scripts and concepts as well, which we as characters and actors need to make sense of. So that's exactly what you do. You reflect from life and you reflect from actors. So I don't build a character who I hold on to. I just let the character flow as every week he goes, because as humans also we keep changing per week depending on the drama that's happening outside in life, which is why I guess I've been able to be a lot more authentic to the characters I've played on television. To answer your question. Any more questions? Himanshi says yes. It's the same Himanshi. Hi Himanshi. Thanks for joining in. Nidhi Agarwal, what's your favorite dialogue and can you enact it? Nidhi. What is my favorite dialogue? If I can remember my favorite dialogue, and I have trouble remembering dialogues, just because of the amount of... I'll tell you what. I can't remember my favorite dialogue, but I can remember one of my most recent dialogues, and that's work which I'm very much excited to talk to you about. It's part of this Swiss production, which I just shot for in Udaipur, where I play a Taliban commander. And I did a lot of work on that, working on my accent, working on the look, working on the feel. So I can maybe give you a bit about the Taliban character as well. Let me now try to think of which dialogues. For us, you are all the same. English come further. Okay. This is, I'm not supposed to say much, but like, don't let this out. But this is a scene where I have a Swiss captive. He's my hostage, and I am the Taliban commander who is in charge of hostage negotiation, and there's this very heated scene, but very subtle as well, which is happening, and this hostage, he kind of bundles up the courage to speak out, for the first time. And Nazarjan, that's my character, who's based on a real life Taliban commander also. All this is a true story. This guy comes up to say, is it fair that you are holding us captive when the Swiss have been neutral and not involved in any of the wars and clashes or the killing of Osama bin Laden? And this is when Nazarjan looks up to him and comes up very close to him, and he says, for us, you all are the same. Russia come, we fight. America come, we fight. English come, we fight. Pashtuns, we always win. Tomorrow, you shall be released. Tomorrow, I do not know if I will get to see my children or my children get to see me. And he leaves. And I can't remember the rest of it, but yeah. So, yeah. You're welcome, Nidhi. That was a googly you threw at me. What else? Thank you. That was your great Danish. Tell us about your vlogs. Bro, I really appreciate the plugin. Like I really do. But I did say ki ye acting ke liye hi rahega. So let's keep it for acting only. We're just about kind of getting done with our talk. Are there any other questions? See, half an hour is not enough to tell you about the entire industry. In fact, Nidhi asked me to do a workshop, and it's just not possible to do a workshop in half an hour. Nothing good, nothing concrete can I actually pass to you. So I can just about answer any questions that you might have. Oh, thanks. You like the accent? Thank you. Shukran, shukran. It was very good. I try very hard. I try it all day long. I speak like that all the time. Mihir. Hello, my friend. I should stop. Who's the one actor you look up to? Meryl Streep. Hands down, Meryl Streep. Right. There's nobody beyond her, there's nobody below her, there's nobody in anywhere close to her, which is why Meryl Streep. And I'll tell you why Meryl Streep as well. Prathamesh Deshpande, hello, welcome. You're a little late, but welcome nonetheless. Meryl Streep, how versatile she can be as an actor is insane. I have never come across anyone who can just change from one project to another in all aspects of delivery, look, talking, expressions, beats. I mean, you name it. She just creates a whole different persona every time. And I know De Niro and Amir Khan and all these other actors are known for their great actorship, but for me, Meryl Streep, because she is so versatile. And for me, that is a mark of a true actor, the versatility of hers, not the intensity, how versatile one can be as an actor. Gauri also joins us. Hi, Gauri. I think we're just about done. Yeah, 3:40, 40 minutes. We were supposed to do this for 20 minutes, but I'm glad this went on. We're 40 minutes down. Thank you so much for joining in. Now, one last thing I'm going to ask from you. Nothing in life is free. Oh, Prathamesh, you've been listening from the start. Great. I appreciate it. Hello, bolna tha yaar. Anyways. Nothing in life is free. If you've learned anything of value from here, I would ask you to please don't pay me, don't even pay her. But there is a little fundraiser that we're doing. It's organized by the United Sikhs, and it's being done to help the volunteers feed migrant workers and truck drivers and people who are stuck. So if you've taken anything of value from here and you feel that, you know what, that was valuable, I'd like to give something, please, I will send you the link, or Nidhi or Danish over here can put that link over here. It's a keto group. We're trying to raise funds so that we can give these protective equipment and give these migrant workers, laborers food as well. So again, if you guys have got any value from this talk, please show that value, pay it forward and donate over here. We really need your donations. Thank you so much, guys. This has been awesome. I hope you took something of value from here. And don't tell anybody about the dialogue, right? It's not out yet. I'll get into a lot of trouble. So please, mat karo. Thank you. And I will see you all some other time. Enjoy this lockdown. Make the most of it, because this time will never come again. Peace.